Being the youngest of four boys and all that, I grew up always, Ron's little brother, Craig's little brother, Jeffrey's little brother, Doug or Gail's son. And so I didn't feel like anybody knew me as Kevin. So searching for identity and trying to figure out who I am. And in doing that, I found myself going down the wrong path, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and started into drugs and alcohol. I knew what I was doing wrong, but part of me just didn't care. And then there came as events happened in my life of my daughter passing away and things like that. I felt like God was punishing me for the things that I'd done and the path that I took. And I guess I was rebelling against God and trying to do my own thing. And it finally came to a point, about 10 years ago that I got so far wrapped up in drugs that I did something, I didn't think I'd ever do in a million years, and I broke into a church. And when I broke into the church, finally, I guess through everything that I've been through, I finally had some consequences that I faced. I've gotten away with a lot of stuff up to this point, and finally had to face the consequences of what I did, and got locked up in jail. And I was on my way back to my cell one day, and walked by this other cell and saw this group of guys in there, and they invited me in, and they were reading the Bible, and they started back reading the Bible, and as they were reading the scripture, I heard that small, still voice say, son, I'm not done with you yet. And when I felt that and heard that, I just started crying, and it just gave me a glimpse of hope, that that even though I'd messed up, that God still loved me and wasn't done with me. I had my day in court, and I was standing before the judge, and I knew going into it that I was facing 16 years of prison. That was the sentence that my lawyer said that we're looking at, but that day, the judge was talking to me and let me have it, rightfully so. And he ended up sentencing me to 6 months of rehab, 2 years of drug court, and probation. So leaving the courthouse that day, I remember very vividly thinking that, what a merciful God that I serve, that I have a higher judge than the judge I stood before that day. And he showed grace and mercy and love, and gave me an opportunity to work on my addiction and to get better than just to, throw me in prison and probably getting out in 16 years and going back to the way things were. I have that hope of knowing that one day I stand before God and know that I won't have any of that. No more judgment from people, no more fear of relapse or my addiction, that it'll all be gone, and my hope's in God.